Day 2 just about to roll over to 10:30. There it is. What have we had this morning? This would have been a nice run. If we say we'd get in here, or even if here, that's about 9 pips. Definitely a take profit. Trade and stop loss would have been caught out by the retracement. Didn't see a recross, so price carries on in this downward trend. That would have been a nice move, or hand wave all these rangy signals we would have got. There's 1, 2, almost 3, 2 or 3 signals in there. Not sure how that one would play. Let's go to the economic calendar, see what's going on. A few national days in Brazil. Happy Our Lady of Aparecida Day, if that's how you pronounce it. Aparecida. And happy Columbus Day in Mexico. It was Columbus Day yesterday in the US. So Columbus arrived in the United States on one day and then immediately went down to Mexico, arriving there the next day. Fast travel, that man. Good for him. And finally, Fiesta Nacional de España, the Spanish National Party Day. All right, that was the important stuff. Let's see what numbers we've had. New Zealand dollar electronic card retail sales month on month, 0.9% actual against 7.8% forecast. Pretty poor chart there, but a lot better than the negative 19.7% from the previous. And their yearly coming in weak as well, negative 14.9 versus 10.3 forecast. British Retail Consortium retail sales on the Great British Pound year on year, negative 0.6 against a forecast of 0.3. Bank of Japan Corporate Goods Price Index month on month, 0.3 actual versus negative 0.7% forecast. South Korea holds their interest rates at 0.75%. Could see that change in the coming months. They are no exemption from the inflation concerns. Swedish registered unemployment rate 7.5% versus 7.4% forecast. Not terrible. I'm sure they'd like it a little bit lower though. Great British Pound unemployment rate coming in at 4.5% as forecast. Not too shabby, but average weekly earnings total pay year on year didn't make the forecast, only 7.2 versus 7.4% forecast. Their claimant count change was down by 51,000 as well, when they thought it was going to be up by 47,000. Great Britain not going to be disappointed with those numbers. That's what we've had so far. Next numbers coming in at 12:05 from the Centre for European Economic Research. We've got the economic sentiment indicator and economic situation from Germany, plus the economic sentiment indicator for the Eurozone as a whole. 2 o'clock, Mexican industrial production month on month and South African manufacturing production month on month. Can't see those having an impact. And same for these Indian numbers coming in at 3 o'clock. Yearly numbers for industrial production, manufacturing production, and CPI. That CPI is forecast at 6.81%. It's quite high, and the actual could be higher. Some ECB speeches around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Board member Lane, President Christine Lagarde, and board member Elderson. 5 o'clock on the US dollar. That's the biggest one of the day. Job openings and labor turnover survey. That's a pretty relevant jobs report. How many vacancies are out there? That's what we're looking at. Forecast at 11.259 million. Then if we're still trading into the evening, 6:15 speech from Fed Vice Chairman Clarida. Might have some good stock tips. 7 o'clock, the World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimates report. And 8 o'clock, the 10-year note auction will be in there as a competitive bidder. That's it then. Any big times for us to watch? Might see some impact at 12:05 from these economic sentiment indicators. They are pretty relevant, but whether we see that feed through in terms of volume might not happen purely because we're in the European session. The volume really starts to come in around 3:30, where we've got the crossover of European and American markets being open. And so I would say 5 o'clock should see the most impact with those US dollar job openings. You never know though, plenty of speeches throughout the day. Maybe someone throws a curveball in one of them. Let's head back on those charts, see where we're at. Well, we did just get a crossover, so this is looking like pretty good timing. Obviously, we're still only sell trades on the 4-hour chart. So let's zoom in on that 1-minute chart, get a closer look, zoom in even more. In fact, we haven't actually seen the cross just yet. It might finish that way, it depends what price does now. We do see that crossover happen, which means now all we need is for that white line, the lips, to come back through, across the teeth, and get us into a sell trade. Price in the last period making a bit of a run down. Doesn't head out of a range, but it does put us on notice for this crossover. Could come in the next few periods. There we go, and we do see the close. Let's get up our ATR. 1.2 pips, that's 3.6 pips of the stop loss. You can see our risk calculated on screen now. How about a stop loss and a take profit? 36 points, 36 points. And same for this one here. And we are in. We can see the take profit, but not the stop loss. Usually the other way around. It's a good sign. Still though, we do want an actual trend to form. These lines have been pretty choppy, quite rangy. Hopefully this is the alligator waking up. Don't want to see too many of these green candles come. Nice moves we're seeing. Did push back against us for a second, but now we're in the profit zone. Let's have another red candle like that. Not this green. Keep going red. Get us to the profit. After those couple nice candles though, price really not liking this support level, and it's bounced and we are currently out of profit. Doesn't mean it's going to hit our stop loss. I mean, we see it come red for this second, so hopefully that's a drop again. If we zoom out, we can see how this is a support level and how our take profit is just beyond it. So we got to the point where the bid price would get there, but the ask price not yet. Hopefully the fact that it's been tested now a couple times means that maybe it can get down there and breach through, or even just probe through. Get us into that profit. That's all we need. Again, we've seen price test it at the last minute and then retreat right back up. Didn't set a new low. With 10 seconds to go left in this period, we are seeing price come up. It's going to close above the jaw in just a few seconds without a big drop now, which means we will be manually closing these trades off, which we will. So let's shut those down. Got caught by a bit more of a run up there as well. Yeah, it didn't like this support level. This would have been the time. This is what we were hoping for it to get past. Couldn't though, so we do take a loss. Not as bad as a complete loss, but who knows what's going to happen with price. We could easily be back in just a few seconds because we see price coming back down instantly, and these alligator lines will absolutely turn with that price. Let's pull up that ATR. We're getting the signal again. Could come in just a minute here. We need the close. ATR showing a very narrow reading, just 1 pip, so it'll be 3 pips to the stop loss. You can see our risk calculated on screen now. With just 3 pips, will it let us set that stop loss? No, not yet. So the risk is $44.82. We'll have to manually watch these and close them out when they hit that amount. Yes, we can get these stop losses in now. That's what we want, just because it's moved a little bit to our favor there. Kind of ridiculous that they don't let you set it. We've only had the problem when it's been the 3 pip ATR, even when it was 3.6 or 3.3, didn't have an issue then. Still though, all we're really doing is just lifting our own guillotine. We are about 20 seconds and we'll see price close beyond the jaw, and it does close there. We also see the lips go beyond the teeth. Really weak trade once again. Not off to a good start this morning. At least they weren't full losses, so it's not the worst. Here we can see this would have been a complete loss. So actually we did save about $30, $35. We do at least seem to be seeing a breakout to the upside now. After a rangy half hour or so, it does look as though the lips and the teeth are going to make the cross. And there they do. So if we get a close like this, which I'm sure we will, then we'll be in again with a sell trade. But price is coming down quite a lot already. Let's see if we miss that move. Let's put up the ATR. So this big red candle does push the ATR on from 1 pip to 1.1 pips. Here comes that close. So you can see our risk calculated on the screen now. We're back in with a sell. 33, 33. See, when we're there, it's no problem. It's only 3 pips. That's the problem with setting the actual stop loss. That seems to be the distance where it's too tight. It's been an interesting one. It's already cut off quite a bit of this move. Our take profit is slightly above the lower edge of the support level. So if price does keep coming down, we might get a chance to trigger that. I think we've missed most of the move. I think getting in at the start of this candle seems like it would have been crucial. Having the stop loss then at least at the resistance or above the resistance level, and being able to get in on most of this move here. Give you quite a bit more to work with. Even though it hasn't actually cost us that much in terms of what's happened with our trades, the spreads make me very anxious. They're so wide, and there we go. That's a full and complete loss, immediately caught out by the retracement there. $44.55 per sub trade, and those trades lasted 1 minute and 22 seconds. Oof. And look at it go. The price does continue the run. What a weird move. Did have increased volume, but then buyers stepping right back in. Price carrying on in a range now. Come back down from the highs there where it knocked us out. Not a lot we could do about that. It would take out about 4 or 5 times ATR. So, I mean, how wide do you want to go with it? Not ideal, but such are the markets. And we did get those numbers from the Centre of European Economic Research. In Germany, sentiment indicator coming in at 22.3 actual against 33.5 forecast. And economic situation 21.6 against a forecast of 33.8. So a double miss there for the German economy. How did the Eurozone as a whole get on for their sentiment indicator? Not so good either. 21 actual and 37 was forecast. Outlook not as good as they would have hoped within Germany and the Eurozone, but doesn't seem to have had any real impact on our chart. Price breaching to the green side now has seemingly taken out this resistance level, which means we can eagerly await another trade if we do see a reversal. We're just about seeing a crossover on our charts. It's very narrow, and if price does put out a decent sized green candle, that cross won't happen, so it is to play for at the moment. ATR is currently 1.3. That would be 3.9 to the stop loss. The candle is holding though as we go into the new period. There we see. So you can see our risk calculated on screen now. Let's get right into those sell trades. There we are, and we can set our stop loss and take profit as always. Again, obviously we want to see is a red candle, not just because it means we're closer to the take profit, but because we want to get away from the jaw. It's when you first enter the trade that you suddenly can find yourself with only a couple green periods coming, and then you're out of the trade. Not what we want at all. Moving all right for us here, about halfway to the take profit. We are so close to our take profit here. All we need just one more push, few more pipettes. Now we're seeing a retracement though. It's heading back towards our entry price. Hopefully that's all it is, just a retracement. And this price move here that's coming into the market, it's a big one. And when this candle closes in 10 seconds time, extremely likely that price is going to be above that average. It's going to be another manual close off. We were ever so close to profit, and we closed them off at what turned out there. I think that turned out to be completely flat, yeah, so nothing gained, nothing lost. But that is a disappointment still. We were incredibly close to taking profit down here, a whisker away, and especially since we're seeing the return of price now. We could be back in just a moment's time, as is always the risk with the Alligator in this kind of range here. If we look at the day we faced so far, from high to low, it's only been 11 pips. Not a lot for us to work with at all. We need those real trends. We remain $188.65 down for the day, $32.74 up for the strategy as a whole. Okay, we are getting back in again here. We're going to see a signal. This is going to close in just a few seconds. ATR is at 1 pip, so don't know if we'll be able to set the stop loss for this one, but you can see our risk calculated on screen anyway. It's only 5 minutes after we were in the last trade, so pretty quick to get back in another sell trade. But nevertheless, we follow the system in. Let's see if we can get that quick. Nope, not yet. So the risk is $44.04. We'll be on the lookout to manually close that if the time comes. This can't be a good trade. Yeah, extremely low faith today in this super rangy environment, and especially with the narrow stop loss. Okay, that's enough movement that we should be able to get this in. We do. Ooh, can we get that one? There we go. So they are set, and the trailing is now set too. There's the take profit down there. Has it been there today? It has not, so it would be a brand new low, which means it's got to get through this first support level, which we're at right now, and then a second support level down here as well. Price has been ranging for the last 10 minutes, but now, yeah, it does catch the stop loss. So there we go. Both trades wiped out for a complete loss again. 5 trades today, 4 losses, 1 break even. And now the strategy as a whole does move into a loss as well. $13 down. We're just seeing the crossover happen now again, 19 minutes past 1. So if we get the close at the end of this candle, we will be in. And it's right at this support level that we're going to be in. This is, yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say this isn't looking like a good signal again. ATR still only at 1 pip. It's because up here, what a narrow range this is. Wouldn't mind seeing a boost on that. Not enjoying these super low ATRs, and we do actually see it boost at least to 1.1, so we can call that 3.3 to the stop loss. You can see our risk calculated on screen now as we get back in the mix once more with a sell trade. Let's see how it goes. Price has been pretty uncertain, mostly just hovering around our entry price. We're now seeing the lips line recross the teeth, And we do have to watch for price getting above the jaw. Price does seem as though it's about to close well above the jawline. It's got 5 seconds now to retrace back from there. Hopefully it doesn't hit our stop loss in that time either. But there is the close. So we shut down those trades. It's another loss and we fall deeper down the rabbit hole. We took our first trade less than 3 hours ago. 10.54 was the first trade. And since then, $340.36 down. And there's no reason to suspect this won't continue either. It's very likely, in my opinion, we'll see price come up about here. We might see a couple more green candles, but it'll bounce off resistance. At some point, it'll come back down. We'll see a recross pretty shortly. See if we can get back in here. Trade number 7 could be coming up. Yep, and here it is. Just a few minutes later, we see the recross. That's where we got out. 3 red candles since then. And if we get there at 153, this close is almost certainly going to happen. We need a big green candle to see any type of reversal. It's just not going to happen. We will be in 40 seconds time. ATR currently showing 1.2. And we need to hope the price doesn't cross above the jaw. Are we going to get it? We get the close, so we have to take the signal. And quite a jump there, separating those by 4 pipettes. But let's set these stop loss and take profit here. 36, 36. 36 is going to be a bit of a difference. Price just sat in a range at the moment. Again, we came pretty close to taking profit right down here. But back up it's come. We are still in profit by a small margin, which is better than nothing, but we're not seeing a lot of movement at the moment. 10 seconds to go on the candle, and it looks like it's going to be the same thing taking us out as before. Although back down price comes, it's wavering around the moving average at the moment. Looks like it is going to close above it, which means a manual close for us. Let's shut them off quickly before we get into a loss. We have found our way into profit for this particular trade. Look at that, absolutely golden there. $8.40 on that trade there, and $4.80 on our second sub trade. Incredible stuff. In fact, the change there is rounded off on that second sub trade to 0.00%. Strong movement, and we do see price turning red here. Again, lips cross over teeth, same thing as always. We could be back in just a couple of minutes if we see those red candles. This is the life of the range. Price starting to open up a bit on the charts here. We really see the moving averages moving like they should in a proper trend fashion now. If you were in on uptrends with this pattern, that would be a take profit for you on this strategy. And at least for us, hopefully it means that when price does turn fully, that we get a much clearer entry signal than when it's just ranging. And we are seeing it come sharply off the top over the last 3 or 4 candles. Red suddenly bursts onto the scene. The lips cross over the teeth. If it keeps coming down like that, not going to be long until we're in a trade. Okay, and it has been ranging for quite a while, but we are finally seeing a breakthrough. If we get the close here, 50 seconds time, another sell trade it is for us then. 1.1 currently on the ATR, naturally 3.3 to the stop loss. We've got a bit of distance between price and the jaw at the moment, especially if it's to retrace from this current green candle. So hopefully won't be immediately closing it out. But our risk is calculated on screen now if you want to check that out. Sell trades they are. 33 and 33, we are fine to set those. Stick that trailing stop loss in and the regular stop loss too. Let's have some faith in this one. And stone the crows, we have actually taken profit. That is incredible. Very pleased to see that. The smile comes across my face as we do secure $43.23. Now, hopefully, our other trade, our trailing stop loss, if that can get to $283.94, we will be back in profit for the day. This is good to finally get some money though, and in fact, that's 2 back-to-back winning trades we're on now. Even though it was only a very small portion in the last one. The moves are happening, price continues downwards, we're going to see that trailing stop loss bump. Finally we're in with something. And it really has made a move here, another candle. And so now our trailing stop loss much further than our ratio trade already. It's going to be getting more money out of it. Unfortunately though, the stop loss does go, price whipsawed back. What a move though as we go into 330. Volume comes into the market, and what do we take home on that one? $82.53. Gets our loss for the day down to $201.40. At least we are getting some back. And meanwhile, some of the economic numbers that have been feeding through this afternoon, We did get that Mexican industrial production month on month, 0.4% actual against negative 0.2% forecast. And for the South African manufacturing production month on month, strong beat for them, 7.6 actual against negative 0.2 forecast and a negative 8.4 previous. I'll be pleased with that. Big misses for India on their industrial and manufacturing production year on year. CPI number was 4.35%, preferable I would imagine to the 6.81% forecast. Got the JOLTS job openings at 5 o'clock still, as we do see price coming down, and it looks like unfortunately that we've just been caught on a retracement as it does go to fresh lows and looks like it wants to keep going as well. Damn, we have really missed the second half of this move here. That retracement just kept us out. And now, what a plummet here. Trailing stop loss would have been going with it. Some profit is good, but all this profit would have been a lot nicer. Price has retraced enough from the bottom of this move here that now the lips have recrossed the teeth, which means we keep an eye for those sell trades now. We're about to get an entry signal here. Price had been coming up and then just ranged across the top. Close is about to come. You can see our risk calculated on screen, 1.9 on the ATR, which is quite a bit wider stop loss than what we've been used to on these trades. It's the impact of the volume that we see around about this time, but at least it means when we set it here, we get a good bit of distance on it. And let's trail that one to the same. Although, you know, you say you get a good distance on it, and immediately when you see a green candle on it, especially when we put up the ask price line, then all of a sudden it doesn't look like you've got as much distance to go as you thought you might. Here comes that retracement, and we have literally just seen a close above the moving average there. Let's manually close those off. It's the same story for us as a lot of the trades we've seen today. We didn't see this as much yesterday, if at all, but today we get the signal in. Price just doesn't know what to do with itself. We did get into a touch of profit for a few seconds, but it comes back up above the jaw and we have to close it off. Not a full loss again, but partial loss halfway. Should get the US dollar job openings numbers as we roll over 5 o'clock. In just about 1 minute's time, we are going to see confirmation of a sell trade for us. It's looking pretty certain. Let's get up our ATR. You can see the JOLTS job openings there as well. Was a miss for them. 10.439 million compared to 11.259 million forecast. Still though, as of right now, we're seeing the euro weaken, and as soon as we get this close in 25 seconds, that'll be us in. With all the volume in the market, we've seen quite a bit of volatility come in, so it was 2.2 on the ATR or 6.6 pips to the stop loss. You can see our risk calculated on screen now. And we're back in. 66 there, 66 there. Hopefully these last. They do have that wider ATR. If it was 3 pips, we'd be gone already. At least that stop loss a bit above the resistance level where it's been tested. Not if you include the ask price line, but still better there than just down here. Although on the flip side of that, our take profit would be at a low price of the day. It's possible, I wouldn't entirely rule it out, but price has been so whipsaw today that I do expect to see more of that. Or based on a lot of our trades, we could just end up in a range after a while and then have to close it down when price doesn't know what to do, the alligator doesn't know what to do, and price ends up just floating over the jaw. We've seen plenty of that. Going for us quite nicely at the moment. No major moves in the last couple of minutes, but steadily to our favour. Could see this getting profit. Turns to 5:34 p.m. and we do see price has been ranging for some time now, and it just about closes above the moving average there, the jawline. So we have manually closed it out. It just drifted there for a while. Price didn't know what to do with itself. Alligator didn't know either, and so price has just found its way eventually across the line there. Small amount of profit from it, better than a loss. But we do end the day down $233.41, so we can't quite get the overall strategy back into profit. $12.02 down. It was a rough day for us today. Not gonna lie, that was a slog. A lot of false moves in here and a few where we came really close to taking profit as well. Or we got caught out just about by a retracement. That was the one big move of the day. If we were looking at that on a back test, we'd probably say, yeah, we'd get all of that, but we can see what actually happened there. We did just about get caught out by it, right up at that point. So not a good day, obviously, but an excellent comparison for what can happen on a day where price ranges, whipsaws, a lot of false signals come, and you get a bit of bad luck as well. how that differs compared to yesterday, where we got a few different trending environments, more certainty within the moves. You can see it can make all the difference. That is it for this session. We will be back for one more day to see if we can get it back into profit. Let's have a trending day. If it just trends all day, no retracement, well, we could make quite a lot of money. We will be back then, but let's just have a look at those trades in the journal. That's our journal. Let's get to today's trades, separated by that darker black line. We had those 3 bad trades to begin with. They got progressively worse into that break-even trade. Not expecting things to break even, especially since we manually closed it. And there was quite a lot of trades that we had to manually close that weren't to our favor. Most of these half trades, ones that didn't make it all the way to the stop loss, they were all because of price crossing over the jaw. And it's just a range issue. Not a lot you can do about it unless you're going to change the settings of the indicator, change the time frame to something longer. It's difficult, but we did manage to scrape some back in the second half of the day. 3 gains, even though 2 of those gains were tiny. We did get one where the trading stop loss, $82.53. But even that one felt like we missed the second half of the move that maybe could have got us to around about $120, $130 and kept the strategy in profit as a whole, because as you can see, $12.02 down. And that's 17 trades in 2 days. Now it's 7 gains, 9 losses, and 1 evens. We'll be looking for nothing but trends in the last session. Let's hope we get a bit of luck and they come to us.